I'm here to defend real theater. Thanks for setting me up, Mike. Good work. So, my story begins like Mike. I've been on stage a lot of times. I was trying to do the math earlier in my head, and I calculated this is my 227,824th time on a stage talking in front of people, and that is legit. I'll show you the Excel sheet later. But I started young. I started probably just in front of my little brother, who was probably a year old when I was 4, and didn't actually know what the hell I was doing. I would pick up pieces of blankets that would end up being capes, and I would build things, and I would fight people, mostly the wall, while my little brother was over there doing nothing. Now, that's how it started. I played the violin in front of people. I sucked at that. I played the trombone in front of people. I sucked at that. And then in 5th grade, they let us start singing, and I was okay at that. And I'm like, oh, I can do this. I'm going to get up in front of people. And I was always the loudest, most exuberant, most always hands moving while the singing was happening, when we're all supposed to be standing there, very calm, cool, and collected, singing our songs. But I was there going, sing the body electric. Anyway, whatever that was. I then went to college as a lacrosse recruit, but I quit that and became a theater major instead. So I did a bunch of that in college. Now, none of that was very glorious. I went to York College of Pennsylvania. We had a couple of people in the audience. It wasn't very fun. But I had a damn good time learning and crafting myself. But the addiction didn't really hit me. The being on stage and talking in front of people addiction didn't really hit me until I was 22, and I moved to New York City because somebody was going to pay me more money than I had ever seen in my life to act in a play. Ready to go. I had more money than I'd ever seen in my life. They got me up there. Now, when you are a professional actor in New York City, you learn very early what the grind is like. And the grind is 2 or 3 auditions a day, 6 or 7 days a week, while holding down 3 part-time jobs so that you can pay to go to your auditions and to buy the costumes and the makeup and to be involved and to get paid almost nothing for most of the stuff that you're doing. But I was hooked. I was in. I met people on those productions for 5 or 6 weeks at a time that I cared about more than I cared about anybody in my life before or since. And I met those people every 6 weeks, every time I was on a show. We spat at each other. We kicked each other. We yelled, we screamed, we conversed with gods, and we defied them. Whether it was in front of an audience of 10 people, or whether it was in front of an audience of 200 people, or 1,200 people, or 3,000 people, which is a ridiculous experience. I had a ridiculous ginger wig on, but it was completely worth it. No matter the size of the audience, we were doing real theater, and we felt like everything was awesome. And we had the power of the people in the audience. They were hanging on our every single word, like you are now. I'm getting so high right now off of this. There's the release. But those weren't my glory days, because I was always looking for what was next. I always expected. I never took the time to appreciate what it was we were doing in those moments, because I always thought the glory was still coming, still on its way. I've just performed in front of 3,000 people. Not good enough. What's next? I've just booked 3 off-Broadway shows in a row. Not good enough. What's next? When you're always thinking about what's next, you lose sight of those real transcendent moments that you actually want to be a part of. Now, I don't stand in front of 3,000 people and say words anymore. I'm going to say this is about 110, and that's pretty fucking great. The group that I like to stand in front of now and talk to are not adults who are going to clap and be paying a bunch of money, but who are children who really do have their glory days still in front of them. And I try and teach these kids about, thank you. I try and teach these kids how they can impact the world around them as a young person the way I never did, because I was always focused on what Bryan was doing next and next and next. So talk to your kids, talk to yourselves, and know that every day is the most glorious day you've ever lived. Thank you.